Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170, The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty, joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans. Also got Clay Murray in here with Team Home Loans representing Synergy One Lending. And the man I want to get to right now, Mr. John Minto, council member, City of Santee. Jason, you mentioned Santee up and coming. You're born and raised East County guy. John, you are the man out in Santee. You know everything that's going on. So what has made Santee become so popular over these last, 5 or 10 years?
Well, I think it's the way we've developed. When you look at some other cities, they do everything as fast as they can, as big as they can, and that tends to get them in trouble because they run out of money. Sometimes people that get into homes and things, they lose their home because things go too fast. In Santee, we take things a little bit slower, make sure that our projects that are residential are completely infrastructure funded first, and then we put the good houses in there, and we also bring businesses that support the city. It's a great way to doing business.
Why don't we just bring the Chargers out there?
Well, we thought about that, but we really didn't have the space for them.
Put them on top of the hill somewhere above the dump or something,
they could
right?
Be the king of the mountain, put them up on top. We'll flatten out one of the hills out there.
Is there a correlation between putting them up there by the dump, like you mentioned, and the way they've been playing lately?
They have been. It's been tough. It's been tough. But being born and raised here, we still love San Diego Chargers. Hope they stay in San Diego. So we'll see. But being born and raised here, John, I've really seen Santee completely continue to get better. I think one of the first things that really helped was the 125 and 52 expansion, which really opened that up so that you're not having to go 8, get off some exit, drive 5-6 miles with 23 lights to get to Santee like we did when we were kids, right?
Absolutely.
And
or when
now,
you rode your horse.
Or when I rode my horse down there, right? Or my motorcycle. Literally rode my motorcycle to Santee back in the 70s. Nowadays, it's real easy to get to.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, there was an article when the 52 and 125 were finished that actually said all roads lead to Santee, which is absolutely true. I remember when I would go to meetings out in Hamul or someplace, and it would take me forever to get on the freeway or out towards Cuyamaca College. And now it's like 15 minutes to get there because of the freeway system. And it's also helped all the businesses. Everybody that I've talked to reports that their revenue sources are up, and that's good for the community.
Yeah, it's definitely a family community now, right?
Yes.
Like the softballs are taking off, the teams, all the high schools, your baseball, your soccer, everything is really a home team. So if you're listening and you're looking for a place and you're wanting a nice home area where you can raise your family, enjoy a beautiful place, and it's 20 minutes from downtown when there's no traffic. I mean, people think like Santee's like an hour away. Like we have friends that live in the Carmel Mountain and they think, oh, Santee's a long ways away. I'm like, I can get to Santee quicker than get to your house here in Carmel Mountain from downtown.
And there's a whole lot less traffic.
A whole lot less traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
And guess what? I can get a home twice as big for what you guys paid.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to raise a family and have a home. I don't live there currently, but my parents bought in the early 70s when it first started developing, literally for like $19,000. My dad got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Wow.
Oh, man.
No money down, VA loan. And I'm just excited to see where it's coming. I mean, I live 8 minutes away. We've talked about it every time on the radio. I love the In-N-Out and Chick-fil-A right there
Absolutely.
in Santee. Kyle loves to tease me on that, but that's a great thing. I can talk about Forever Santee, but we got you in here, John. So how long have you been in Santee?
I've been in Santee since 1992. As a matter of fact, it was my tax guy that said, John, now that you're married, you don't have kids, you need to move up, get a better investment. And so I went to a real estate broker that was a professional, and they helped me get out there in Santee into a home that today is pretty much paid off and is a great investment. And I have great friends and family members that are close by. Everything I probably would need is in Santee, and what we don't have, we're going to be bringing to Santee.
So let's talk about that. I know talk about first some of the exciting things that have recently come to Santee and some of the things on the horizon.
Well, I can tell you that we've been very active. We have over 50 national chains in Santee, and some of them are, for instance, like the Firehouse Subs. They're new. Jersey Mike's, to name a few restaurants. We have the Sportsplex USA, which is by far one of the greatest sports centers that we have for adult and youth activities in the region, without a doubt. And if you haven't been there, you need to come out. It's 3 fields for baseball, softball, and then soccer we have out there, indoor soccer. So if you're a family or you're just into sports, come out and check it out. Get in the batting cages and hit around some balls. And I guarantee you that you're going to be interested in buying a home in Santee.
Absolutely. So what's on the horizon? That's the exciting part.
Okay.
So what can you talk about? I know there's a lot. I think there's a meeting tonight even. So let's talk about what's on the horizon for Santee.
Well, one of the newest things that's happening in Santee is that we've had the opportunity to work with Karl Strauss Brewery. Now, Karl Strauss, we entitled the property for them so they could close escrow at our last meeting in December. And what does that mean? That means that it's a large business, 25 years and plus in the business, one of the first craft brewers in the country, actually. And they're moving their entire operation to Santee. That's their brewery, their headquarters, a great restaurant. And if you've ever been to one of their restaurants, you know how beautiful they are. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to that. That's a great revenue stream. If you, since you live in Santee, you're going to probably like to hear that.
Yes, sir.
Kyle doesn't drink beer, does he?
I was just going to throw that in there. The best part about the Sportsplex is you could have a beer while you're there.
Actually, here's a little known statistic. I believe it's their Miller Lite beer. They sell more there, or just short of what they do at the at Petco Park.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Welcome to East County.
Welcome to East County. And although we do make sure that everybody does participate responsibly.
There you go.
I love it. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170. The Answer. We're talking with Council Member John Minto with Santee. So this, Karl Strauss, this is going to be a reality. This is happening.
Yeah, I've been in this business for 13 years now, and the way I get around this question is I believe it when I see it.
Okay.
Because the best laid plans of mice and men, we know how that goes. It looks like there are some challenges by some environmentalist groups. We believe that they're easily mitigated, so I'm about 99% sure this is going to happen, and that's a great anchor for that area. And if you don't know where it's at, that's going to be located in the town center near where the Target shopping center is.
That's awesome. I mean, that's right in the heart of Santee.
Where are they headquartered now, guys? Where's Karl Strauss headquartered now?
They're actually
kind of spread out with multiple locations, but the main one is right at the intersection of the 52 and the 5 freeway, right along that frontage road there that runs alongside the 5.
Okay.
Terrible location.
Terrible
Pain in the butt to
Terrible.
get to.
But matter of fact, one thing that caused them to look elsewhere is the fact that they've taken over a lot of old buildings that were abandoned by other businesses. So they have pipes running inside, outside, holes in walls, holes in the roof. And what they really need is a comprehensive plan and a building that really is designed for brewing.
That's awesome.
That is
so, yeah,
awesome.
I mean, if you're listening to the show, you've ever been to the Stone Brewery up in Escondido. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I mean, you can make a day of it going there. It's not just a place to go have a beer or two. You can go there with a group of friends, and they've got, gardens and everything and waterfalls. It's a beautiful thing. You can go hang out there for the day. People get married there. That's the direction that I understand they're heading with this Karl Strauss.
Exactly. It's going to be, like I say, very comprehensive. They'll have a garden there for weddings. It's big enough for that kind of venue. And I'll tell you what better a venue do you have that? Let's say it's middle of December and it's actually 70 degrees in the city of Santee, and you look out and there's a mountain out there and hills, and it's a beautiful day, and it's not 4 feet of snow like some places in this country in the middle of December.
Definitely. And then let's talk about what's any residential development happening out there.
Yeah, we have the closest one to being built is the Castle Rock project. It's over off of Mass Boulevard across from West Hills High School. That's near the Sycamore landfill. Mm-hmm. And that's looking like it might break ground in the middle of this year.
Wow.
Now, one problem that we've discovered is that because of these El Nino rains, that it may make grading a little bit difficult, so they might have to postpone that for a little while.
Okay.
So, as a matter of fact, I just had a meeting with them last week, so that's the most recent update on that.
And how many homes would that development be?
That's about 470 that I recall. Now,
wow.
One thing that's important...
How many do you guys have in Sky Ranch?
209.
So that's twice as big, over twice
Sky
as
Ranch.
big. Sky Ranch
Well, this is going to be very comprehensive, though, because it's going to have condominiums. It will have some smaller homes. As a matter of fact, one of the things they've done is they have redesigned the project so that instead of all two-story homes, now they'll have some one-story homes, which is important for guys that are my age that don't want to go up and down stairs so much anymore.
Right. I know I live in Sky Ranch, one of the other newer communities in Santee, and when we get a single-story home for sale on the mountain, I mean, it's a feeding
offers.
frenzy.
Right.
Everybody wants those single stories. People just don't want to deal with stairs.
Well,
Yeah, when you're 30-something, you don't mind, Kyle, right? But
Although I've got friends my age that
when you
have
start
kids
going
and they don't
40,
want the stairs.
50 plus, you start thinking, do I really want to have two stories?
Right. I mean, that's why you bought a single story, Jason. You got to keep those things in mind.
Yeah, and that's why I'm whining after doing the Mount Helix stairs this morning.
So one of the things that we want to keep in mind, though, is that when you go up there to Sky Ranch, you got a triple threat. You got a great home. You got a view. Most of them have a pool.
Right.
And if it's single story, you have people my age breaking down the door to get in there. Yeah.
Speaking of, I actually just signed a listing on a new single story that we've got coming up in the Sky Ranch community. So if you're listening to the show right now, you want to get into the Santee community, you want a house on a mountain with a view in an amazing community like Santee, and you want access to it before it goes public, call us or shoot us a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. We can get you access to that home before anybody else knows about it. So that's one of the values we want to bring to you for listening to Whissel Wednesdays here is just getting you access to these homes before they hit the market. We're going to talk a little more toward the end of the show about what's happening in the market, but it's going like gangbusters right now. And in Santee in particular, home values are going up as fast as anywhere in San Diego County.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you might want to know is that there was a report that just came out, said that Santee was the 8th best city in the nation to retire to.
And I've got a single-story home
That's
for
right.
those
That's
retirees.
Exactly. That's why single story is huge.
Shameless plug. Very good.
So what were some of the reasons that they cited? Did you get a chance to read the article?
Well, one of it is because we have so many things that are local. And those things are the restaurants, the stores, and things of that nature. But it's also a much quieter community. People think 56,000 people in about 6 or 7 square miles is going to be noisy and loud. You got 2 freeways. But quite frankly, the way we've had things built up, you have sound barriers. So you know what? We have homes that are just designed for people that want to live comfortably.
I love it. So again, if you're interested in learning more about the Santee community, have questions for John Minto, council member out there in Santee, or myself, Kyle Whissel, I'm a resident of Santee, you can always call or text us 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. We'd be happy to give you, some more insight on some of the cool stuff that's happening out there. Again, Carl Strauss likely coming. We didn't even touch on it, but there's rumors of a movie theater coming in, a bowling alley coming in. You've got Chick-fil-A, Jason's favorite restaurant on earth. There's a Round Table, Jason's second favorite restaurant on earth. I mean, you've got it all. And why don't you live there, Jason? I mean, those are your 2 favorite restaurants.
We
There's
tried to get my
Mexican
wife,
food
right? We
everywhere.
tried to get my wife there, and she found the house on Mount Helix, and that's where she wanted to live.
Yeah,
but,
you need that single story for somebody your age.
But exactly, I need that single story. But no, I love the community. I think it's great, and I'm excited everything that's going on. And I was going to mention that, John, that I remember the movie theaters down there for years. And now I was like, that's the one thing they're missing. So it's exciting that you guys are talking about that.
Yeah, we'll touch on that as soon as we come back from the break. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170, The Answer.